welcome back to the shop. Today we got Abe the Lincoln in here. We're going to take off the window trim on the doors and the weather stripping and get it replaced, polish some trim, and get it refreshed. Here we go. So here's the condition everything's in now. See how dry and cracked this window seal is, and all this black has came off of this trim. Boy, it's kind of bright. Doesn't want to really focus on it too well. It's all missing. This has stainless here, and then this black. It's kind of like a plasti dip or some, I'm sure it was like plastic at the time, but we'll get that all peeled off, polished up, replace this rubber, and clean this up. Okay, so to remove this upper piece right here, there's one screw. Just a Phillips. One stainless screw. Don't lose it. Then, come up here, push this piece of trim back, spring loaded. Push it back, and then you can pull up on this side out. There's little clips there. And once it's off of that, it's just on a spring then, and you can push it back towards the front of the car, and it comes off. Now, for the one here with the window rubber, 3/8 little castle, not really a castle nut, but I'll show you. It is a fabricated piece of, it's a nut. See that? There's a bunch of black stuff gonna come off. Boy, my fingernails are dirty. See, it's a little acorn type nut made with sheet metal pinched. So that goes right there. This other screw before I lose it. So that is it for the here. That holds this whole thing on. But that bolt right here, you gotta push up to get it out of the hole that you just took that nut off of. And you can pull this up and slide it towards the rear of the car so it comes clear of the mirror. There's a plastic piece up here in the front by the mirror. I'll show you once I get it out. You just pull up and pull back towards the back of the car. And see, this piece here goes under the mirror. This plastic piece. So this slides under the mirror, so your mirror trim matches up with this trim. So you gotta make sure you pull it back and not just straight up. Very simple. I'll screw some weird nut, goes right in there. Now this end where that weird nut goes, it's a T-bolt in here. See if I can Take this piece of plastic out maybe. Show you. Oh. Maybe. Stuck in that trim. Boy, that's in there. There it goes. Let's see how that's captured. It's just a little T-bolt. So it's captured in this piece of plastic on the end. So you gotta be careful. Don't over tighten that when you put it back on. That's all that holds it in. Okay, trim's off. We're going to get all this black stuff off. I'm gonna heat it up. Take some Scotch-Brite. No. I'm going to heat it up and triple-aught steel wool. And we'll get rid of all this pattern on there. Look how bad this weather stripping is. Look at that. 35-year-old. Got in my mouth. Yep. So we'll get that taken off there, put the new one on. We'll go do that right now, show you how that works. But yeah, comes off super easy. All right, so holding on this weather stripping, staples. See them right there? Fold it over. So they can be kind of difficult to get out of there. So I take a pair of snips. Not gonna be able to do this on camera, maybe. I get in there and basically just clip the old staple off. Just like that. So now there's nothing left there. And I'll go through, I'll clip all those off and pull the old molding off, the rubber off of the molding. So here's the clips that hold it onto the door that I was talking about. They just go under in the door. But you get all these staples out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 staples total. And this rubber will come off the trim. Let me get that done. Come back and show you. All right, all the staples are cut. So now I'm gonna take a screwdriver, use a punch or whatever you got, something flat. Get in there, just kind of work in there, and then pop the rest of the staple out. Just give it a little twist. Comes right out of there. Just in between the trim or molding and the rubber. One more. There it is. So there's your piece of trim. Stainless. There's your screw or your staple holes from the factory. The super brittle trim, or man, I cannot talk today. The rubber for the window. So let me grab the other one. Okay, here's the new one. As you can see, it's not exactly as thick. They did not put this portion here. Your clips are all the same. You line up the clips, they all line up exact, But they stopped there. They did not put this section. That's all right. That doesn't matter. So this is gonna set right back on here. Basically is what we're gonna do is line up the clips in the slots. That's all we're worried about, is lining those up in the slots. All of these clips right here need to be in those slots. See them? Look how good that fit is too. They all fit right back in there. Oh, you see them right there? See? They all line up right where the factory stuff was. Then we have to put staples back in. But old Bob, working on the assembly line at Ford, Lincoln division, wherever they were, probably had a giant stapler. And old Bob would just take this and go chunk, 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 and pop the staples right on through. So the problem with that we're gonna have is Repop that made these, see, they measured. They chalked out these, so these are perfect. These will fit right in here. But these staple holes probably are not gonna line up, because we don't know where Bob did it. Where Bob just happened to slam these staples and random, see, way up high, way low, 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 up a little bit, up high. You know, all of these are not gonna be in the same spot. Maybe. Maybe we'll get lucky, but anyway. So what we're gonna worry about is lining up these clips. So we're gonna take those, line them up, and clamp them. Of course, I grabbed the ones that don't have a spring. First ones, we're gonna clamp those where we want them. That's it. So now we're gonna flip this over this way, and where the rubber is from the new Repop windowsills, we're going to drill new holes for the staples, because Bob didn't put them in the same spot on every piece of trim. I'll explain it all again. We'll drill these, put in the staples, and we're done. I'm gonna clean up the trim first. So I'll take all that back off, clean up the trim, and then we'll put that on. I'll show you. I guess on these new ones, I should point out the difference between this lip here. See how much smaller this one is? See if I can hold them both up together. From there to there, and then this one is much smaller. So that's your part that goes over top of your trim piece. That's the only difference I'm noticing, minus what we talked about, this distance here, which is basically just after this clip. They just didn't put this extra piece of rubber, so I think we're fine. That's the difference I noticed. Look at that polished trim. See if I can figure out how this goes on. Right on. Okay. Pull it back towards me. It slips in these little clips here. Oh yeah, that's nice. It's not bad at all. And then there's one screw on the back side here. Keeps it locked in place. Little Windex. Here we have it. Now I'm sure that being black is probably for some sort of anti-glare inside the passenger compartment. But we're going to tint these windows 20%. So we won't have to worry about any of that. Look at that. All new rubber, polished trim. Here is the old rubber. See how dry rotted, brittle that is? Look at it, it's like rock hard. 1989 rubber that is turned into plastic, basically. So, there we go. These are the Repops Originals that you get from Jags. Installation. Pretty simple. They also come with this piece of rubber for the inside here with this chrome trim. But mine are actually still good and nice and soft and pliable. So I'm not going to do that. So that's it. Polished trim. New rubber. All refreshed. 1989. Dry rotted rubber is gone. Fresh repops from Jags. There were some people asking about them, how the fitment was, things like that. So made this short video. Instead of spending $300 for the Steely's brand, the Repops are like 80 bucks. It comes with inside wipes and outside wipes. I only did the outside, as we talked about, because mine are fine inside. I'll save those. Maybe someday I'll need them. But really, about 2 hours to do the outside. No big deal. Line up the clips, make sure they're good, put them in. No big deal. Compared to 300 bucks, I'd rather spend 80 and do what I did. But there you have it. Fresh window rubber on an '89 Lincoln Mark 7.